He's a local tech entrepreneur and movie producer. He is spearheading the drive to launch Canada's first battery electric car racing team just in time for Vancouver's inaugural ABB FIA Formula E World Championship. That's next summer, folks. He is also the CEO of the Sycamore Entertainment Group. It is a great pleasure to welcome Edward Sylvan to our show here at Alouette. Thanks for joining us.
Jim, thanks for having me.
And it's great to get you because you're not here a lot, so we've got you in the country and the city here. Listen, I'm going to jump right in because there is so much to talk about. Let's talk first about Sycamore Entertainment Group and Sage.tv.
Right. So Sycamore Entertainment Group is a full-service film and distribution marketing company. So what we do, we're the people who take finished films from producers, and we're the people who get them into the theaters where you and your family can go and watch it. And we're also the people that market these films. So we're the people who get the posters on the side of the buses and the commercials on television and all of the trailers that you see to market that film so that you can go see it. That's our core business. And SEGI-TV, which is just an acronym for Sycamore Entertainment Group, Inc., is the streaming portion of that distribution platform, not dissimilar to any of the other streaming platforms that you're familiar with. So we added that in the last year to be part of our distribution mix in addition to the theaters.
And what you do, there's always a mix like what we do between business and the artistic side of these things. Talk a bit about the company and how you're able to blend both those together in, let's say, a harmonious fashion.
Right. Well, as you know, film in and of itself is a very capital-intensive business.
Sure.
It takes a lot of money in order to make a movie, tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars. So a lot of what people may not know is a lot of film money actually comes from Wall Street or Bay Street, the financial industry. And being that I'm over 30 years in the financial industry, I was able to actually bridge the gap between creative artists, filmmakers, people who understand the craft of making movies, who aren't necessarily business people, and the financial world who is providing capital to get these films made. So essentially it's commerce meets art, and that's where we get film. So as somebody who's in both areas, I'm able to bridge that gap and be somewhat of an interpreter between the two vernaculars and languages.
Especially when you own your own company too. It's just that blend has to be there.
Absolutely.
I was talking to your team earlier, and I wanted to bring this up, that only 8 minority-owned operating companies that are publicly traded.
Yes.
That's astounding to me.
It's astounding.
Talk a bit about how that has been a challenge for you and your team.
It's been a huge challenge, and Jim, thank you for asking that question because it's an important part of our mandate when we speak about inclusion. It's been a challenge because primarily for years, the financial industry isn't financing companies that are run by people that look like me. We've just been a company that's been a race of people that's been locked out of financial services and financing for our companies. Black-owned companies only get 1% of all liquidity and capital that's going into the marketplace. So coming from the financial world, I'm privileged and blessed because I understood that culture, the subculture of finance. So with that education, with that formal education and then that work experience, I was able to navigate through where most other people who don't have that background that look like me are just lost. But even having that background, it's still been a challenge because of for all the reasons we know and are seeing in our world today.
Are you able to, before we get to the racing, which I'm excited to talk about, I want to just continue a little further with the company. Because of the challenges, because of the community from which you came, you're also doing your best to kind of spearhead and mentor projects, voices of other communities with the company and the productions to get other voices heard.
Correct. One of the things that drives us as a company is to represent the underrepresented and tell the stories of that don't make it to Hollywood. Tell the stories of the filmmakers that don't have agents at William Morris Agency but are fantastic storytellers, fantastic directors, great actors that aren't getting the chance. Our mandate is to go out and seek these stories because we're connected directly to those communities. We can dig down deep and pull out some great artists to make those stories. So that's what drives us as a company, and then we're able to get these films funded or get them into the attention of people who can fund them so that they can reach the rest of the world.
It's so important too. It seems like you shouldn't have to say this, but I'll say it anyway. About just every time you see a movie come out from a different community, you hear from the kids and the parents who say it's so important for these kids to see themselves on the screen.
That's
and for
right.
years that wasn't happening. So
yes,
kudos to that. Okay,
Thank you.
Let's talk a bit about you have so many things going on, but you are focused to get an electric racing car team in next summer's big event here, which we were talking before camera. It's great to see that return to Vancouver.
Yes.
Walk us through what you want to do and what's happening next summer.
What we want to do is we want to put together a team that's run by Segi TV and be on the grid as a race car team participating in the race series, not only as a sponsor or a content creator, but actually have drivers in the car participating. And the reason for that is, as a streaming company, which is our core mandate, it's a great way to be able to be involved in creating original content. All the other streaming companies have come to realize that the name of the streaming game is producing original content. So, and nothing brings people together like sport, and in particular, motorsports. So those are the mandates that we're trying to put this team together for. And in addition, what the racing series is about is clean energy, the electrification of vehicles, and saving our environment through and the devastations of climate change.
And it's interesting because I was saying to you, I'm a casual F1 fan,
yes,
but I'm really curious and interested to see this circuit, which has a lot more opportunity for other teams to win, unlike F1.
Correct.
I think we can all acknowledge that.
Yes.
And next summer's event, as I said, it's been 20 years or 17, I think it's
about 17
since we had any type of racing in the city.
15 or 17,
What's happening with this? It's not just racing next summer either, is it?
No. What's happening coming up is it's a 3-day festival, if you will. And that festival consists of a conference that will speak to technology and the growing push forward of all the different technologies and how that can help businesses, both locally and globally. And then it's a concert series that's going to have 2 very high-profile performers. And then lastly, it's going to have the race on the final day, which will include a celebrity race. So it's more of a festival. And the purpose of that, Jim, is to bring in people that know nothing about the sport through music and through education, and add the racing as well, so that there's a learning of this new race series that can happen to grow the fan base.
And a great plus is it's good for the environment.
It's great for the environment, absolutely.
Hey, this has been great talking to you. We just met today. You got a great story, and I don't know how you have any time to sleep because you've got lots going on. You got a good team behind you.
Sleep on the plane.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, it's Edward Sylvan. He is the CEO of Sycamore Entertainment Group. Check out, did I say it right, Segi or CG?
Segi.
Segi, thank you. Segi.tv, so it's SEGI.TV.
Which happens to be our stock symbol.
Yes, okay. All the information, we'll have all this stuff for you guys if you want to recap in our closing credits. Edward, thank you for joining us today.
Jim, thank you for having me. I appreciate you giving me the platform.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Thank you.